One Piece Mega Theory Part 1. Manga Spoilers. Chapter 1. The Great Kingdom. The Great Kingdom was a powerful nation of the past of which no trace remains today. The world government fears the very idea of the existence of this nation to the point where its name prompted the Gorosei to proclaim, "Ohara learned too much." This kingdom was responsible for the poneglyphs and the three ancient weapons. The people who called it a weapon here is in reference to the writing of the poneglyphs where the mermaid princess is called Poseidon. These people left behind the vast treasure, i.e. the One Piece. Joy Boy is the one who left behind the treasure, One Piece, connecting him to the people who called the mermaid weapon Poseidon. The poneglyph that mentioned Poseidon was located at the ruins of Shandora, the same place where the poneglyph language is used on walls as well, indicating the people of Shandora spoke the language. All of this points to Shandora being extremely connected to the Great Kingdom. Perhaps it was a major part of it. The word, Shandora, stems from the Sanskrit word for the moon, Chandra, which is where the Shandorian race originated from. I.e. Shandora means moon. Over 1,100 years the people of the moon descended to the earth after they ran out of resources. There were three primary races, the Skypians, e.g. Conus, Shandorans, ancestors of Shandians, e.g. Kalgara, Burkans, e.g. Enel. While the Burkans and Skypians made it to the White Sea, the Shandorans managed to reach and settle in the Blue Sea at Jaya. The Shandorans were attacked and ruined by the alliance of 20 kingdoms, the world government. Their descendants, the Shandians, believed in ancestor worship. They believed in a few gods. I will be going over them later on. The people of Skypea call their leader God, e.g. Enel, Ganfall and Ubao. There existed a race of gods who lived atop the Red Line. These gods are called Lunarians, which means inhabitant of the moon. The Lunarians have wings similar to the people of Sky Islands. The people of the Sky Islands, mainly Skypians and Shandians, called their leader worshipped gods. I theorize that these gods were Lunarians. The people of the moon were capable of building a race of robots called the Automata. They were reversed engineered on Karakuri Island, which is Vegapunk's homeland. Vegapunk is said to be 500 years ahead of the rest of the world in terms of technology. The people of the moon were capable of building this race over 1,100 years ago. Would it be far-fetched to assume this race constructed the three ancient weapons? The poneglyphs, which originated from Wano, also has a lot of ties to the moon. 5 of the 6 ruling clans have some sort of tie to the moon in their name aside from the Kurazumi. The Kazuki clan's name means Moon of Light. They were the ones who constructed the poneglyphs on behalf of the Great Kingdom. The Kazuki were brothers of the Minks. The Minks have a form called Sulong, where Jimbei notes that Sulong transformation is an awakening of a mink's deep feral memories. Lastly, Shandora is called the City of Gold. Wano in the past was called Country of Gold. This could further imply a connection between these two lands. Doflamingo says current world government, indicating that there was a previous version of the world government. The poneglyphs are scattered across the entire world, indicating a near global presence of this great kingdom. To sum it all up, over 1,100 years ago, the people of the moon who were technologically advanced ran out of resources. They came to the Blue Sea in search of more resources. A certain race called the Lunarians colonized most of the world and built a kingdom of gods on top of the Red Line. The Wano country and Shandora were colonies of this land. They were responsible for the creation of the 3 ancient weapons. The name of this kingdom is Marie-Joise. This race was eradicated by the alliance of 20 kingdoms. Chapter 2. Joyboy and the Sin of Zunisha. The rhythm of the drums is the same as that of Nika's heartbeat, i.e. the drums of liberation. This is also the same panel where the sun god is mentioned for the first time. This was acknowledged in Road to Laughtale Volume 3. This implies Nika was worshipped by the people of Shandia. Symbolism for the sun exists across almost all of the allies of the Great Kingdom. The Gorosei call the people of Alabaster traitors, meaning at some point they were affiliated with the previous world government or the Great Kingdom. The person who awakened the Hito no Mi model Nika during the Void Century is the previous Joyboy. But the wording of the Gorosei and how Road to Laughtale Volume 3 talks about Nika implies that he was a real person. It's the return of Nika, the Gorosei responding to Luffy awakening his fruit. Notice how they didn't call him Joyboy. Nika is called the warrior of liberation, and the sun god was worshipped by slaves in ancient times. This indicates that slavery was rampant during the Void Century. I theorized above that the Lunarian kingdom conquered nearly the entire world. Why didn't the Lunarian kingdom do anything about slavery? The sun god being a Lunarian feels like a contradiction since the sun and moon are opposites. There is also a big elephant in the room. Zunisha. Zunisha was an ally of Joyboy but also committed a grave sin in the past. He is also connected to Wano's borders. I theorize that he was supposed to open the borders of Wano, but since Momonosuke decided not to open the borders, he returned. The diet of Zunisha is interesting. Zunisha's diet consists of Sky Island apples and giant seaweed. Could his race, the Naitami, Norida elephants, be pets of the Lunarians? Zunisha probably assisted the Lunarians in their quest of world domination. This would be his sin. He also seems to be the last of his species, indicating that he either betrayed his race, or his race was wiped out by the 20 kingdoms out of revenge for what the Lunarians did. As for carrying Zou on his back, I believe this is due to the Minks being a subordinate race created artificially by the Lunarians by manipulating lineage factors. This is why they have fear memories connected with the moon. These warriors served Lunarians in the past and were violently hunted after the Lunarians fell. Zunisha carries them on his back until Joyboy returns. What was so inconvenient about the Void Century? The last time the world government erased a piece of history was with Rox D. Zebek. Their first reason for this incident being erased from the annals of history is because the Marines had to team up with pirates to win. 20 kingdoms betrayed Nika because he was Lunarian, or at least part Lunarian. I believe the Lunarian kingdom enslaved humanity. Nika defied his kind and freed humans, causing him to be revered as a god. Zunisha's sin was that he assisted the Lunarians in enslaving humanity or betraying his race. He carries Zou on his back to protect the Minks from going extinct. The Minks were created on the moon by the Lunarians by modifying their lineage factors to be fierce warriors and loyal servants. During the Void Century, the 20 kingdoms allied themselves with Joyboy, Nika, a Lunarian pirate, to defeat the Lunarian kingdom. The 20 kingdoms later betrayed Nika after being maddened by power.